This meant fifth day at work, there was no one around. He thought he had come to the wrong place. He looked down at his watch. There were still 8 minutes before work started. Just as he was wondering what was going on, a group of people hurried over. Looking like you when you're running late for work. He was about to start his day's work when a man in black walked in. His colleagues at the petition office were in a panic. One hid under the table, another pretended to make a phone call, and another turned and walked away. This person was the legendary figure. Men saw her and fell silent. Women saw her and cried. The magical grandmother who dominated the farmer's market, volunteered every day to maintain order, carried a camera to collect evidence, verbally reminded those not wearing helmets, urged vendors to move back if they crossed the line. In just 20 years, she reported over 8,000 petition cases. Calculating by time, that's 1 case per day. She has seen off 5 leaders of the petition office. The new young man actually volunteered to help handle the reported cases. But everyone must queue up and take a number. Everything is fine as long as it follows the process. The grandmother's eyes were filled with a murderous glint. The next day, she took 20 numbers, and the reported cases weighed 3 tons. The young man had no choice but to reluctantly accept them. During the day, the grandmother worries about the farmer's market, but at night, she follows the TV to learn English. The aunt from the neighboring supermarket also followed along with a few English phrases. She also attended tutoring classes, but always slowed down the class's progress. The teacher deliberately avoided asking her questions, all because her questions were too tricky. The number of students in the tutoring class dwindled, so they had to refund the tuition fees, and told her to go home immediately, so as not to disrupt other students. Just as the grandmother was despairing, she suddenly heard a familiar voice. The young man was conversing fluently in English with a foreigner. The grandmother hatched a plan, giving him a flattering smile, to have the young man teach her English. The young man refused. To move the young man, she called him every morning. The young man still refused. So the grandmother brought some food and stayed at the petition office. The number of complaints increased to 2 a day. While she pleaded with the young man to teach her English, the young man suddenly came up with an idea. If the grandmother passed the exam with a score of 80 or above, he would teach her English. After several nights of reviewing, she made a mistake on 1 word and scored 75 points. The young man again refused her for various reasons. Without grandma's harassment, the young man's life became much more comfortable. However, one day after work, he saw his younger brother, who didn't come home after school, sneak into an alley. He curiously followed him to a place called OK Tailor Shop. His younger brother was sitting inside strangely. Just then, Grandma opened the door. The young man was so scared he nearly lost his mind. It turned out that when Grandma was managing the market, she saw his younger brother eating instant noodles and felt very sorry for him, so she invited him to eat. It was just a matter of adding an extra pair of chopsticks. Grandma asked the young man to sit down for dinner. At first, he was very shy, but after tasting the food, it was delicious. After finishing his meal, the young man noticed the walls were covered with English words. It turned out Grandma had a serious side, so he decided to teach her English. No tuition fees, just occasionally cook for her younger brother.